I'm tingling with anticipation.
Hey, everybody. How is it going?
Oh, are you talking to me or are you talking to the internet, Frank?
We are talking to the internet right now.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Whoop, whoop.
I should really pull up. I should have done what I did last time and pulled up Twitter so I could see, what was happening. I could see our faces. I'm not going to do that. No.
You're not going to do it this time?
No, I'm going to do it this time. You know why?
Yeah, do it.
It's weird. My face is not recognize me. Recognize me.
Swear to me.
Swear to. There we go. Supergirl TV Talk.
Yeah, man. All right. How is everybody doing tonight? We are live. I'm going to tweet out that we are live. Crisis on Infinite Earths has happened, has begun.
It has happened. It has begun. Things have definitely happened. Not the way I would have thought they would have happened.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, Frank, this is just reactionary. Great montage right at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Started strong with Batman 89 universe.
Yes. Burn Notice 56 just posted in the chat. Batman 89 theme.
Yes.
Love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Love to hear that. Oh, my God. Gabby Wagner, I'm not okay at all. Neither am I, honestly.
Nope. Not okay.
Not okay. Not okay.
So I actually have a question. So do you remember a while ago there was a newspaper that got tweeted out that was Bruce Wayne to wed Selena Kyle, and it was a picture of Michael Keaton? That is not the newspaper that Alexander Knox was reading.
Oh, interesting.
So I wonder if they either digitally replaced it or we're going back to Batman 89 land at another point.
I like this. I like this.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that's going exactly because red skies and stuff. So
red skies and all, yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but obviously
exactly.
they didn't take out Titans on DC universe.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we got a question from Tim R here on YouTube. He says, "So why was there a news article about Batman capturing Joker on Earth 89 30 years after that Joker died? Did he come back? Was there a successor? I want that story."
Yeah, same. Want that story. Yeah.
Sure.
See, that's the point. That's exactly what I mean. Although it's Earth 89, but I guess because time moves the same way. Because Earth 46 is in 2046. It's in the future. So not every Earth is at the year 2019.
Right. They're in different.
So maybe Alexander Knox aged terribly from the end of Batman 89 to the time the newspaper came out to tell everyone that Batman defeated the Joker.
Okay.
AKA the very next day.
Okay.
He was so stressed about that circus.
Yeah.
I mean, about the parade and everything. He was like, he just aged 30 years overnight.
That's
my working theory.
That's an interesting working theory. I like it.
We're only about 5 seconds into into the episode right now. We could keep going this way if we really wanted to.
Let's just talk about our favorite highlights, because obviously we're doing a full recap. For those who don't know, we're doing a full recap podcast later this week, so we will touch on all the big stuff that there is. But let's do basically this is that was a good bit live. What were our favorite moments and our favorite standout things? I mean, obviously we started off with a bunch of cameos, right?
Mm-hmm. Like Burt Ward
Adam, right off the bat,
Robert Wool, the Titans, Jason Todd and Hawk from DC Universe.
Titans, right?
That's great. I know that they couldn't they were filming when they were filming or something like that. There was it was not going to work for a crossover, but I love that they tipped the hat.
They worked them in. They worked it in, and I love that they did that. I love the way that they did that.
So here's a question, though. So if the point of Crisis on Infinite Earths is to merge universes, like people end up on the same Earth, does that mean that Titans DCU takes, you know what I mean? Are they going to does that get where does that go? Or maybe it only merges the Earth that we deal in the Arrowverse.
I think you're onto something there. I think it's probably more likely that those other Earths, the DCEU film Earth and the Titans Earth, like the Earths that the that the other DC properties take place in are probably going to stay on their own in separate universes, and we'll end up with like 5 universes instead of however many infinite ones there are now.
Sure.
That's what I think.
We strip down to 52 or something like that.
Maybe
they do
52.
A little bit.
Oh, I love the idea of there being 52.
Something like that. I think that's where I think that's a little bit more where we're headed than just one Earth. But Earth 38 is gone, so
it's gone. It's officially gone. Can you believe it? The Earth that we have been on for the last 5 years in Supergirl, gone. Over.
Now moving forward though, that means that like what does that mean?
What does it mean, Tim?
For like,
what are the implications?
Okay, here are the nobody knows who Superman or Supergirl is on Earth 1, meaning that they have to literally start from scratch. Like they have to rebuild themselves as heroes from the ground up, right? Did Leviathan get on all those ships?
Right?
Like, they said, what did they save? 3 billion out of 7 billion people on the planet. But that's 3 billion people added to presumably about the 7 billion people on Earth 1. So, like, what about food shortage and things like that? Like, where are you going to put all of those people?
Right. Yeah, that's it's like a Thor Ragnarok question, right? Like, this is Asgard, right? Like, but
at least they had a ship to float in,
right?
Well, I guess they have ship, but I mean, like,
they do, but like, this is, like what, half the planet?
Yeah, just about
half the planet. Like, that's insane. That is a true crisis. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about all of that. It's absolutely nuts. Man, yeah, and Tim here in the chat, not you, Tim R, chatting with us here on YouTube.
Up, Tim? Yeah.
Commenting on YouTube. Overpopulation by the billions. Kara and her cast, all the Earth 38 folks are refugees on Earth 1 now. It's nuts. It's nuts. And yeah, Cyclone Rachel saying Kara had her Asgard isn't a place, it's a people moment.
Yep.
With the Krypton stuff, right? Like, as long as we're around, Krypton is never gone. And I love that moment of her consoling Kal-El in that way. There's something about her thing is compassion, right? It's compassion and empathy and love, essentially. And I love that that's what she is bringing even to her cousin, who is, this Superman clearly is he needs her in a way. She completes him in a way. The two of them are sort of a yin and yang, and I love that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Although I wonder what is this Superman's thing. I think that worked when he was a supporting character, a supporting guest character on her show. But now that he's getting his own show, what type of Superman are we now looking at then for his show? If she's the hopeful, compassionate one, where does he land? What is he?
That's a great question. Hopefully this new show will answer that that question of yours. I certainly want to see that. I want to know that. I want to get to know this Superman better, So I certainly want to see what it is that he brings to the table.
Yeah, it's talking about a good bit. The Oliver talking to Clark about children.
Yes, like, I'm a father. Like, I get it.
Yeah, that was something else. It was almost not that I didn't like last year's Crisis at all. It was great. Don't get me wrong. Or last year's crossover, but it was worth even just that to establish their previous relationship, so he could have that conversation right now.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, just so they're not like, oh, I don't know you, but here's my take. Like, they know each other. They've been through a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They've established that rapport already, right? And so, like, they have a mutual respect and mutual knowledge of one another, and I love that they have a relationship. There's a baseline relationship there. I love to see that, and so Oliver's word meant more because of it.
Yes, exactly.
So I love that.
Exactly. I really wish that there was a type of a bit of a line where Clark, when he was putting Jonathan in the pod, was like, what the hell?
I know,
Like,
I know, right? Because it's the cycle repeats. It's the next generation of the House of L getting put in a pod and sent off into space to hopefully, survive.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. What do you think about Oliver's End?
Oliver's End. I think
Do you think it's the end of was that it?
Nah.
No.
I mean, there's still an Arrow episode coming in this crossover, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
which will ostensibly be the series finale, I guess. Right? Because are they doing more episodes after Crisis?
There's 9 episodes of Arrow in this season, and Arrow crossover is the 8th episode, so there'll be one more Arrow
to wrap
episode.
it up. Okay. So I personally thought it was a very fitting sort of death for him. Obviously, I don't think it's, like I just said, I don't think it's the end of the line completely, but I love that he was the founding member of this whole universe, right? It all began. This universe began with him. It's the Arrowverse. People call it the Arrowverse. People call it the DCCW. I personally kind of like the name Arrowverse because it really is, Oliver's whole thing.
It is because of him. They did not plan to do this when they set out to make Arrow. They were like, hey, Smallville was popular. Batman and the Dark Knight were popular. That gritty, grounded level. And now here we are, Crisis on Infinite Earths. This was not the plan. And anybody working on these shows, especially at the beginning, Mark Guggenheim says it all the time. He's like, this is not what we set out to do. And I'm so happy that this is what they're doing.
Yes.
But I think I kind of chuckle to myself, because he's fighting, and then he goes to reach for an arrow, and there's none in the quiver, and I was like, 8 years, first time it's ever run out.
And it doesn't stop.
But that was no, it doesn't. But I thought it was so fitting that it's never run. I'm sure it's run out once or twice before, but you know what I mean. There's a real symbolism.
There absolutely
is. His arrows are out. His time is out. There's something really, really nice about that, and to drop the bow to pass that on to Mia in his own way. And to go down swinging, it was very Dark Knight, this is a good death kind of thing. And then he saves 1 billion people by doing that. Just more ships get out of the way. However that works, I'm not. I don't need to see it to I don't need to know the mechanics of that. He's a hero. It's all good. Did he shoot the Monitor? Did he electrify him?
He shot him to stop him from breaching him out of there. The Monitor was about to breach him away, and so the way I took it anyway is that he shot him. Not without lethal force, just enough to stop him from breaching him out of there. He's like, no, I'm not done. I said I'm not done, and I'm not done. And I just love that he is he went out like a hero. He sacrificed himself for 1 billion, as you said. I think it's the most fitting thing for him. I don't think it is really his final death. I do think Gabby here in the chat is saying I'm not okay about Oliver's death. I think the Monitor can fix it because he said that's not how he foresaw it. I think that there will be something with the Monitor, fixing it somehow or whatever.
Well, to go into not spoiler territory but speculation territory,
sure.
We know the Spectre is somewhere involved. DC Comics character the Spectre is somewhere involved in this crossover. They actually just released a picture of the actor who's playing him, not as the Spectre, but his Jim Corrigan, his human form, yesterday or something like that. And so there is heavy speculation that Oliver becomes the next host of the Spectre, the Wrath of God, and blah blah blah. So I think that maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see that in the first 3 episodes. But I thought, if you want, you getting rid of Argo, big stakes. Getting rid of Earth 38, way bigger stakes. Killing the Green Arrow in the first episode, all bets are off. That's huge.
Huge.
That's not
huge.
even a wait. That wasn't even wait for the mid-crisis finale.
Right.
This is the first episode.
You would expect something like that at the mid the cliffhanger that's in the middle of these 5 episodes, right? We've got 3 now and then 2 in January. You would expect exactly what you just said. You expect that to be the cliffhanger, but they gave it to us right off the bat in episode 1. So, I mean, man, there's so much more that we know is coming. Things that we've been shown, Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman and all of that stuff, we know is still ahead. But they gave us so much already in this first episode. I feel like it was huge already.
There was a pace to this episode. Like, it was relentless. It just did not stop moving. And that, you got to set the stage for everyone who's coming in just for Crisis. Like, you got to lay out all the pieces. But it did not. One, I really liked it because, yes, it's a Supergirl episode, and it tied a little bit to Supergirl, but it's its own thing.
It is its own thing, yeah. But it was very much like rooted in Supergirl, right? Like, I mean, we started with our characters and all of that,
right? Even the Lena, the Lena Alex dynamic, like, we didn't get to see their fallout yet, and like, so we witnessed the part of their relationship that's moving.
That's right,
and how Lena's going to feel about that. Honestly, I think Lena is she's going to come around once she realizes Lex is alive.
Come around in what sense?
Come around in the way that things are not the way she thinks they are. Because like, part of her spurning, like, all of this is like Lex told her as he was dying about all this treachery, but then Lex isn't even dead. And so I think that's going to play a heavy factor into what she thinks she knows and doesn't know. And who's messing with her and who has her intentions at heart, and things like that.
It's interesting because we've been talking the last several weeks on the podcast about how we feel like Supergirl has not been super connected to Supergirl, the show has not been connected to the Crisis really as much as certainly Arrow or Flash have been. But it seems that in its own way, the show has been leading up and laying some breadcrumbs for Crisis with the whole Lena storyline and her feeling betrayed and all of that. Like, that was actually meant to be, apparently, it seems, a lead-in to this story, where it's even last week we were debating, does she help the heroes or not? Like, how involved does she get? Clearly, this has all been a thing to get us to this place of how involved is she going to be and how helpful, which side is she going to take, and all that kind of stuff. So I love that while we as careful observers of the show thought that we weren't really getting much in terms of like the show connecting to the Crisis, it actually was in a way that we couldn't quite see from.
No, but I think that's just the nature of what Crisis is in this first episode.
Exactly.
And tomorrow's episode is Flash. Is that the breakdown?
I think tomorrow is Flash. Someone in the chat will correct us, but
doesn't really. I don't like. Technically, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I think it's just more like we're going to see different. We're just going to see different components. So like we saw, the Alex Lena relationship happening here, and then the Flash will see like Iris and Barry, and we'll kind of move along that like in that trajectory.
Right.
Oh, what was I going to say? I forgot. Old Oliver. That was a nice wrap. That was a nice wrap up for those characters. That was a good buy that they never really got either, because she went off traveling through time.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. By the way, people in the chat are correcting us, as I knew they would. Thank you guys for coming through. Tomorrow is Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Night 2 is Batwoman.
They're just kind of breaking it down by nights. That's kind of fun if you think of it. Oh, you know what? Bruce Wayne's tomorrow. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess
that would make
sense. that checks out. Robin in the chat is pointing out, yes, Batwoman is tomorrow, which is run by the Smallville writers, or many of the Smallville writers. So that's I love that. Robin, also, you just mentioned Old Oliver, and Robin posted a question here for us about Old Oliver. He says, please explain to me what the deal was with Old Ollie. Why was Jonathan sent there?
I don't think he was sent there.
Right.
I think that's because his ship went through a wormhole, and that wormhole just happened to have him end up in Star City.
Yeah.
And Oliver, being the Green Arrow, detected that, picked him up, probably did not know what to do with that situation at all. That wormhole probably also responsible for aging up Jonathan Yes, I think he's going to age at a faster rate.
I think so, but wasn't he still a baby when he came out of the wormhole?
Yeah, but like I think they'll like turn back. Oh my God, why are you two now?
Yeah, I think that's probably I think for the sake of the upcoming show, he's probably going to be aged up a bit. There was also a line about Clark saying that he dreamed about them having 2 kids.
Yes,
kind of think that might be a wink and a nod to something coming later as well. It felt like a moment. It felt like a moment. He said that, and then Lois said like something about like, oh, Clark Kent, you whatever, you can't see the future or whatever, like some kind of a.
Yep.
It felt like a moment.
That's a good point. Good pickup.
We'll
see. We'll see. We'll see. But that's what I think. I think it was just an opportunity to get a goodbye.
Yeah.
One for Arrow of 2046, which we haven't seen on Arrow in a couple of years, but he was, that was a thing. And then older Oliver, one-armed Oliver, and then and a goodbye for White Canary, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
I think, because there's too many people crowding the table at Oliver's death scene, so like they can't also have that conversation. You know what I mean? So they can't have that conversation, so she has it with it was really touching. Actually, I thought Stephen Amell acted the hell out of that scene.
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he was in a lot of ways. I mean, he was sort of the driving. He was the team lead this whole episode, right? As he normally is in these crises, in these crossovers, right. I guess. But he was like sort of given the orders, and everyone sort of respected him as the team leader. And Amell got to he had to show some range this episode, from sort of the tenderness with his daughter to, I mean, even tenderness and sort of bewilderment with Sarah, and like all these obviously like the badass like fight scenes. Like he got to show so much range in one episode that I really. It was very heartfelt, a lot of it, and really just meaningful to anybody who's been watching these shows, basically since this universe launched.
Yep.
It was really, really cool to see that all happen.
Yeah. Do you think that tomorrow's episode is going to be a little bit of a slower pace, even just based on the trailer? I feel like they bought some time for themselves, if that makes sense.
I wonder about that. I wonder if it's going to be slower paced. I honestly hope not, because I feel like they've done that before. Well, certainly with was it Invasion? Was that the one where the Arrow 100th episode happened?
That's because it was the Arrow 100th, right. And so it kind of interrupted the flow of the crossover. But there's like I said before, there's a relentlessness to the pace and the editing of this crossover, and I don't know if it's going to take its time. I don't know if it'll take its time or not.
I'm not sure. I really hope that it keeps up. It keeps up on the pace to a certain degree. And I mean, we saw that we're getting Brandon Routh, Superman, and Clark. We saw him as Clark, where he really gave
nice
me
glasses.
Nice glasses. It gave me it really felt like 2006 all over again. Superman Returns. Like the look was really, really reminiscent of.
It's the same.
It's the same look.
It's the same. Do you think that Ray Palmer's going to die? I think so.
I think so. I do think so. Yeah. I love that Ray and Sarah go to trivia, because they've time traveled and so they know the answers. And then
but also change that he screws it up. That's so good.
I love it. Oh man. What a great that was such a fun that made me miss. I haven't watched Legends in a couple of seasons. I just had to let something go, and that was the one that fell off the radar. But that made me miss the dynamic. Oh man, what a fun when that show is fun. It's so fun, and that was a great little microcosm of the fun that they have on that show. I loved it. It's great.
There's a great chemistry from everybody across the board. They all get along. You can just, even if there's some are better friends than others or whatever else, they bring their chemistry to everything. And they just, it feels like in an inhabited comic book now, if that makes sense, in a way that a couple of crises ago it didn't, or crossovers, it didn't feel that way. But so many times later when they all show up together, even Kate, like is like, I don't know them, but I trust you, so fine. We're just moving this along.
Yes. Yeah. And she was like, okay, great. Well, if Kara trusts you, then like, boom, here, this is me. My name's Kate.
Right.
Like,
right. And she's only met Kara once, but which means that she's been Batwoman for over a year now. I think that's kind of because the first couple of episodes of Batwoman were before last year's crossover, and now they're after that crossover. So she's been functioning for quite some time now.
Yeah,
so
she's like well versed, and she's in the role and all that. Yeah. That's true. That's true. You mentioned chemistry a few minutes ago, and like from the moment, that short scene that Flash and Green Arrow had together, where Barry tells Ollie that he's supposed to die. From the moment that scene started, where he's like fastest man alive, and he's the last one on the scene, they have such chemistry, the two of them. Like Grant and Steven have such great chemistry. I love it. And it makes me sad.
It's over now.
It's going to be, that's it, But that's probably one of the very last times we're ever going to see the two of them on screen, just the two of them one-on-one together. Maybe there'll be another scene later, in the course of the 4 episodes that are left here of this crisis, but that was probably, very near the end of the last one-on-one scene.
That's an excellent point. And do you think that Marnovu, like, not foreseeing the way that this, I feel like he's like, this is not the future I saw for him. I am so confused. This is the first time we've seen the Monitor like shook. Like he's like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I'm also confused. Do you think that doesn't that mean that like all bets are off now? So anything that he said about like Barry having to die or this or that, like Oliver's didn't come true. So that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that this Flash is going to disappear either. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if what he foresaw for Oliver is false, that means just everything he saw is now false. So there's a possibility it's not.
There's a possibility that like
it's not stone.
I guess the way I'd put it is it's not that everything might be. It's that every individual thing is now called into question. Like it's not. It doesn't mean that all of it's not going to happen, but anything that he's predicted, any one of them could not, or any number of them could not happen. Right.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I also like that they like the writers changed the direction of that, because last year Oliver made this call to die instead, and everyone was like, oh well, he's going to die in Crisis next year, and he did. First episode. This to me almost feels like, know what this is? This is the Kobayashi Maru, Frank. That's what this is.
Yes.
This is, that's what everyone, he's dead. That's what everyone meant. Like,
yes.
Now we've got that's what this is.
This is the Kobayashi Maru at the beginning of Wrath of Khan. Right, mm-hmm. where there were rumors that Spock was going to die, so they had they added this scene where Spock fake dies at the beginning of the movie, so you'd be like, oh, okay, that's the death. I think that's a great comparison. Yes, this is not actually the death that we are have been expecting. I think there will be a grander sacrifice at the end. I mean, listen, guys, there's still 2 more episodes of the series called Arrow. And there's still a whole half season of the series called The Flash,
right,
and Supergirl for that matter. So, so Flash and Supergirl are the 2 characters who died in the comic,
right?
They both have television series that are going to complete at least the end of the season. So I think we can assume that there's going to be, even though the headline said Flash disappears in Crisis, and we've been anticipating it for 6 years now.
Yep. 6 seasons, 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in their 6th season.
So even though that's the case, I think we can expect that something, some turn of events will change that. But listen, we have a lot more. We have so much more time to talk about the next couple of nights, and then the full podcast later this week. We've been talking for 30 minutes already. I think it's time. Yeah, I mean, time flies when you're having fun with your friends, man. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. It's been a blast. We appreciate all of you for joining us, for sending us your questions as we went along. This has been so much fun. Please join us again for the next 2 nights in a row. We'll be right here, same bat time, same bat channel. You can find us here on Periscope and YouTube. So if you're watching or listening to the replay after the fact, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure to tune in Monday and Tuesday nights. We will be live right here. If you're not sure how to get the episodes, how to get the live stream, just head on over to @TV Supergirl on Twitter, and that'll give you everything you need right there. Tim, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this puppy up?
No.
We've said a lot.
Yeah.
We've said a lot. That's fair.
Something happened in the middle of this episode that I can't pinpoint that I wanted to talk about, but so much like flew through every scene so quickly that I cannot for the life of me think of what I wanted to say. So
that's fair. That's fair. It was a hell of a jam-packed episode. Well, we'll be back tomorrow night and the night after. If you want to find us on the internet, we are at supergirltvtalk.com. You can also find all of our shows at thoughtbubbleaudio.com. You'll find a whole slew of podcasts there. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio. So please do that. Consider throwing us a couple bucks because this stuff's hard work, and we're doing a whole lot of it this week. So
so hard. Oh my gosh, just sweating over here with all this work that we're doing right now.
It's hey man, well, live stream didn't do itself. So
I would
please go ahead. Those towers,
comic book
perfect.
accurate.
Perfect.
True life.
Yes.
True life.
Absolutely true life.
What
and the
kind?
shadow demons too. The shadow demons were right off the page.
Yeah. And you know what I liked that we didn't see them up close? You know, that there's this aura of mystery about them, but also for budgetary reasons. I'm sure we don't want to get too detailed.
I'm sure that's part of it.
There's a lot of money getting thrown around. So I mean, just even the beginning, the intro with the Supergirl, you know, with Spike, you know, like what a nice callback.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Even that.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Yes.
Yeah. Will Wheaton. I knew I missed something.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, kind of, you know, the end is nigh, all that fun stuff. Yeah, Will Wheaton was great at the beginning there, and even just the very, very opening with the narration from the monitor was also adapted right from the comic, right from the opening pages of the book.
Nice. I really enjoyed the way they showed the sun splitting apart, and that was a really nice CG intro. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was great. I can't wait. I can't wait for episodes 2 and 3 and beyond. But oh man, the next couple nights are going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy fun. So let's say goodnight for now, but we'll be back the next couple nights. Thank you all for watching, for listening, for tweeting along with us. We'll be live tweeting as well the next couple of nights, so join us there. Find us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or wherever you find your podcasts. Make sure you rate and review us, please. Patreon, if you can throw us some support there, patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio. Follow us at TV Supergirl on Twitter, and we'd love to chat with you there. But I think that's it. I think we got to say goodnight. So thanks so much to all of you. We love you. Thank you for your support. Really, really glad to have so many of you joining us in the chat tonight. So it's been a blast, and we will see you tomorrow night. Say goodbye to the people, Tim.
See you tomorrow night. Bye, everybody.
Up and away.